Keep living the adventure. Axis of Awesome. What is up, adventurers? Welcome to another Reviews Day. Today we're going to be doing a mega review of a line of action figures that has been maligned in controversy and disappointment since their debut back in 2023, and those are the animated Dungeons and Dragons series of figures from Hasbro. Now, there's been a lot of people who've done reviews on these, a lot of people who are disappointed. Retro Blasting had a really good one. I'll put a link to that in my description if you haven't seen it, but he goes into infinite detail about all the problems with Hasbro as well as this line of action figures. This is something that a lot of people didn't expect, I think, from Hasbro when they came out with them. People were really excited, but when they got them in hand, they were anything but. I went ahead and bought them just to have them because I like Dungeons and Dragons. I never was a big fan of the animated series, and coincidentally, you never really got a line of these figures to support the animated series back in the 80s, which I didn't understand that as well. But we got them now, and like I said, they've been maligned in controversy, specifically probably from a quality control perspective. There's been a lot of these that have broken, and people were not happy with them. I have had these for quite some time and never done anything with them, so I just decided to fill some space for the channel to do a review of these. So we're going to pause the video and we'll start going through each one of these. I think I'm not sure how I want to do it, but we're just going to go ahead and wing it, so stay tuned. All right, gang, so first up is I thought at the time this was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, but I actually saw this at Target later last year. And this is the Venger and Dungeon Master 2-pack exclusive. I bought this off Hasbro Pulse because I really liked the Dungeon Master. Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of that cartoon series very much. Not as much as a lot of these other people are. Just wasn't really my thing. There's a lot of other cartoons I liked a lot better. Never really got the concept. Seemed kind of like a ripoff of Land of the Lost in a lot of ways. But I did go ahead and buy Venger and the Dungeon Master. You know who Venger always reminded me of? He reminded me of the main protagonist in Time Bandits. I don't know if you guys get the same sense, but Time Bandits was probably one of my all-time favorite movies, and I always felt that Venger looked like the guy in Time Bandits. I can't even remember his name off the top of my head, but that's every time I see Venger, I just think about that. So this is a cool thing. Like I said, I got it off Hasbro Pulse. Bought it when they first debuted it. And of course on the back here you get Hank, Diana, and Bobby. They hadn't shown Presto and Sheila at the time, so I think everybody assumed that they were going to be part of this set as well. You can see here, this is part of Hasbro's failed woke style, environmental friendly packaging that they've since kind of gone away from. But it works for these. If I had to go ahead and say it kind of works, it works for these box sets like this. I don't really need to see the figures in the bubble pack to know what they are because they're really not that special. And it gives you more space to do some really cool artwork. You've got the animated series inspired artwork there on the side here as well. You get that. And then on the back here, you get what both figures look like, gives them the height and everything else. So a little more detail than what you get on a bubble package, I guess. Comes with, obviously, the Dungeons and Dragons dice, which is synonymous with the game. And here you can see that you open the box out and you've got a fold-out display here to put your figures behind if you wanted to display them. And you get all this other bullshit that Hasbro throws on there. So the box art's pretty cool for this one. I don't mind it too much, but we'll go ahead and set that off to the side because these figures all kind of work together in a roundabout way. So next up, we've got Hank. Hank was probably the male hero of the cartoon, if I remember correctly. He had a really cool magic bow. Just a neat little figure, neat character, I guess. And again, on the back, you've got Bobby and Diana which were the other two characters that you saw on the back of this one that came with him as well. Here's a picture of Hank. They don't give Hank's height. I thought that was interesting on this figure box here. Of course, they give the height of both the figures, but here they don't really give the details of Hank's height. Of course, the Hasbro goofy, environmental friendly packaging, and you know, they've got a small little bio here of Hank, and tells his story in the cartoon. And then, of course, you put him there, and you see kind of what's going on here. We'll talk about that when we get to it. You've got Diana, which was probably the strong female character of that cartoon series, which is cool. See, I got this stupid little label here. I think I bought this off Amazon maybe. And of course, Hank on the back here. Of course, you've got her, again, like Hank, you got her bio here. Cool little picture of her. And she fits right here. And then you have Presto, the often failed magician of the group. He came out later. Again, I got this off Amazon damaged, so I hope the figure's okay. I'm going to open it. He comes with the dice as well. Really cool. Comes with a few accessories. We'll look at all these when we open them. And of course, his bio as well here. Presto fits right there like so. And then you have Eric. Eric was the probably one of the fan favorites of the TV series. Eric he was like a headstrong kind of dude, winged it all the time. Always made bad decisions, but ended up being the hero in the end. Much like a lot of your 80s movie characters in a roundabout way. I didn't mind Eric. He was cool. He was a cool figure. I always liked the way he looked in the cartoon series. And of course, you've got Sheila and Presto, which these three characters came after the initial release. He's got the dice, comes with his bio there as well. I won't bore you guys by reading through all those. Then you've got Sheila, who had the cloak of invisibility, and bio on the back here. Her shows what she comes with. You've got Eric, Presto, and then lastly, Bobby and Uni, fan favorites as well of the cartoon series. I never really liked them, but that's just me. And on the back here, you got Hank and Diana, which are the original characters released with him as well. So the cool thing about these figures is all the releases go together to form one mural, which I thought was kind of cool. Hasbro's box art is cool with this one, but the environmental friendly packaging, I guess, allowed them to do something like this, which is kind of neat. It would have been nice if each of these would have came with this poster folded up in the package, so you could have had this poster, or at least one of them had it, maybe the deluxe figure set. And that would have been kind of cool to have that poster. It would have been a nice little add-on for these figures, considering that everybody hated them. But it's just what it is. But I thought that was kind of cool to build that up like that. So if you wanted to, have them displayed on your shelf, and you had deep shelves, you could always display each character kind of by this poster or this box art, I guess. So I don't know, it's not too bad, I guess. We'll pause the video. We're going to pop each one of these out of the package and come back and look at all the figures together. All right, guys, welcome back. So here's the original 6 characters out of their respective boxes. Okay, so first thought, they do feel extremely brittle. I planned on kind of posing them with their respective weapons, but I'm definitely not going to do that. What I would probably do with any of these, if you got them, get a hot thing of water, put the figures in there, and kind of work them around a little bit to loosen them up, because these things do feel very, very tight and very, very brittle. So yeah, that's exactly the first thing I felt when I pulled these out of their respective packages, is like, yeesh, I would probably snap these pretty quick trying to muscle them around. So let's go from first figure here, Hank Of course, each figure comes with their respective dice. I believe this is Diana's. I can't remember. But they come with their respective dice. You get dice for warriors or fighters and et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to go through the whole entomology of Dungeons and Dragons for everybody. But Hank's figure is pretty cool. I really like the color scheme of him. It's nice. His face is a little Barbie-esque, which is okay because it's supposed to be an animated series style figure. His joints are very, very tight. Like I said, soak him in a little hot water. He has triple jointed knees, but the elbows aren't super articulated like you'd like. He's not able to really hold his bow very well. He comes with two different variations of his bow. Comes with it uncharged, and of course the magical arrow portion of it, which is kind of cool, but it'd be nice if he is able to hold the bow in an action pose, which he's not, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay, I guess. He's going to be he's kind of a glorified mannequin, if you will, like the rest of them. Diana's figure is nice. I think I like her head sculpt quite a bit. I like her whole sculpt in general. It's pretty much true to the original figure. Again, very tight joints, needs to be loosened up. Articulation up at the torso, arms, elbows, super articulated knees, ball joints at the ankles and whatnot. Head's on a ball joint too. She comes with two different variations of her magic staff. I think this is the dice for her. If I'm wrong, I didn't really check, but she comes with her standard staff, and then she comes with the staff that's supposed to be the action staff. So they've kind of tried to airbrush that. Probably would have been better if they could have figured out a way to make this like clear or translucent green, but they didn't. So the weapons for her are pretty generic, not great, but it is what it is. Presto comes with quite a bit of stuff. He comes with, comes with a dice, which is specific to him, his character, I guess. He comes with a hat, and you can take this portion here, I guess it's supposed to be magic, pop it in his hat, and I guess he holds it like so. He also comes with this portion here, which also fits in the hat, to where he can do his magic to pull his spells or whatever out of his hair, or his hat. He comes with his hair, almost like Playmobil hair, that you pop his head off and it goes on his hair there. You can interchange the hair, I guess, and then pop the hat on his head, which is odd. I probably just would have done two different head variations. Comes with a vinyl portion here. Probably would have been better to make it soft goods. It's not very pliable at all. And his joints are, again, very, very tight, and probably needs to be put in some hot water to get him pliable as well. But he looks pretty good. The colors are nice. He looks pretty typical or pretty true to the original character, I guess. Eric is pretty plain and disappointing, I think. His color scheme on his armor, dang, Presto, stay up there. His color scheme on his armor doesn't match the actual box art or the animated series, for that matter. It's almost like they didn't know what the hell they were doing with him. He's really plain, disappointing. He's got a little bit of a vinyl tunic there over his armor. His cape is, again, plastic. Head sculpt's a little odd. Doesn't look a lot like him, but, they tried. And, of course, he has hot or tight joints as well, so he would be soaked in the water. All these guys should be soaked in the water. Eric comes with dice, which is synonymous with his character. And he comes with his magic shield, which it's got this rubberized version that can be pulled off. So, that's kind of cool, actually. That works pretty well for the character, so I don't mind that too much. But not great. Sheila, on the other hand, is pretty disappointing as well. She comes with this goofy... Let me pull these guys off to the side here. Apologies. She comes with this goofy cloak, which is kind of... It starts to become translucent at the bottom, I guess, to give her give her the silhouette of her changing into her invisibility cloak or whatever. I don't know, but the character's not bad. The head sculpt is actually pretty nice and very animated-esque, I guess. But the cloak doesn't make any sense. But you see what I'm saying for Diana's staff. It would have been better to paint the staff and have like a translucent green for her energy staffs, like I talked about, kind of like they did for this one. But her character is pretty disappointing as well. She comes with the dice, synonymous with her character, and then an extra cloak. So, again, joints are very, very tight. Now, Bobby and Uni, Bobby actually is a really cool-looking character. I think he works quite well. Super, super tight, feels super, super brittle. I wouldn't want to mess with him because these are so small. I would probably snap him just trying to mess with him. The character sculpt's really, really nice. He has, again, limited articulation up top and triple jointed knees, but he actually looks a lot like the character. I don't mind him at all. He comes with this battle club. And of course, Uni, which is the annoying character of the animated series I didn't like. Uni is just a glorified statue with a ball joint on her head. So, yeah. I mean, that's all you can really say about these figures. They're very basic, and they feel kind of underdone. So we'll pause the video. We're going to talk about Venger and Dungeon Master, and then we'll come back and we'll finish all this up. All right, welcome back, guys. So here is Venger and Dungeon Masters, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it has a fold-out backdrop. It's a really nice hard cardboard backdrop. It's a little weird how it folds. You would kind of expect it to fold out to where you could fold this piece in more like this, but it doesn't. I guess you could, but I wouldn't want to damage it, I guess. So I'll just leave it the way it is here. Don't really like the way that all works, but whatever. So Dungeon Master is a pretty cool little character. He's really, really simple. He's just one block of plastic with a limited mobility head. Arms have a shoulder joint here, go up and down. Again, I would heat him up because his hands feel super, super tight. But he actually looks cool. I don't mind him too much. Comes with, again, a dice. And then Venger comes with this mega dice here. And he is pretty cool, actually. I have to say, he's one of the cooler, probably maybe the coolest of all the figures. Maybe him and Dungeon Master. He's got a cool head sculpt. Limited here. He's got articulation, but it's limited by this vinyl shroud over his arms. Again, tight, looser. His joints feel looser than the others. I probably wouldn't have to heat him up. Vinyl cape here, which conceals his giant legs under here, where he's got limited articulation. I don't even know how you would pose him very much here, but he looks kind of cool. Of course, the wings here, his blessed black wings plug into his back like so. I haven't got it in there all the way. But he's kind of a glorified mannequin as well. Comes with 2 hand variations to shoot his magic. And not a bad figure. I mean, this thing was probably around $40, I think, when it first came out. So definitely don't think it's worth that. But they're not too bad. Not too bad. So we'll pause the video. We're going to come back and do some final thoughts on these figures altogether. All right, guys, welcome back. So final thoughts and wrap up. It's not a great action figure line at all, especially for the price that these were when they came out. I think each individual one of these was around $20-some, which is massive, massive overpricing. Venger and Dungeon Master, I think, is around 40 something, maybe close to 50. I can't remember when I bought it. Again, massively overpriced. These should have been maybe $9.99, and that should have been probably about $25. I don't know. Very, very disappointing. They're just going to get displayed in my collection along with my Nika Dungeons and Dragons figures, and that's about all they're going to do. You know, it feels like Hasbro had a design team that worked on this that had never done anything before. It's like, hey, here's your first project. You know, like hired a bunch of new hipsters and tight jeans and purple hair and said, here's a Grail project for all the Gen X kids out there. Do this and screw it up. And they definitely did. and it's disappointing, I guess, especially if you're a big fan of the animated series, which I'm not, so I don't really care. But I do feel bad for all the people who are probably super excited about this series and then got these figures and were like highly disappointed. But it seems to be the case with Hasbro right now. You know, I hate to say this, and I know there's a lot of detractors from Super 7 out there, and I include myself in that group as well. But this would have been a line probably better handled by Super 7. I know they have a Dungeons & Dragons license, and I probably would have rather seen them start off with their reaction figures of these guys, and then move on to maybe some ultimates of each of these figures, and then kind of crowdfunded it like they tend to do. I think you would have got a better product. I think you would have got a more of a fan favorite product and version of these characters than Hasbro did. Hasbro just, boy, man, they're just the guys who just can't get out of their own way. But not a great series of figures. Definitely not a great series. You find most of these now on clearance. And you take a risk, because I know a lot of people get them and then they break. I wouldn't even let my 5-year-old son play with these. They're so terrible. But they are cool looking from a certain point of view, to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, they are cool looking, and they're just bad figures and bad and poor design and poor execution. There are some good things about them, but you know, if you're gonna give these like out of 5 stars, these get a 1 star for sure. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any Dungeons and Dragons fans of the cartoon series out there and that watch my channel, but let me know in the comments what you guys think of these. You know, this is kind of an indictment on Hasbro. You know, this is a failed action figure line by them, and I think they know it. But it'll be interesting in the future to see if Super 7 does try to tackle this. I don't think Nika will, because they're firmly ingrained in the LJN style figures, and I don't know, guys. But this has been a Reviews Day for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. It's kind of a mega D&D review of the animated series. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you guys think of these figures. If you like the cartoon series, if you didn't, hit the notification icon, like the video. Helps the channel out quite a bit. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to. And in the meantime, guys, keep living the adventure, and cheers.